Hey everybody, it's great to be here. Before we get started, I have one small confession to make. I am not going to talk about predictive personalization today, but before you leave, there's a good reason for that. Predictive personalization is broken and there are better options out there, faster to implement, they work better from a sales uplift perspective, and they might even be more ethical. So to get us started, when I say prediction, especially with this hand movement, what comes to mind? For many people, it's sort of a wizened old fortune teller huddled over a crystal ball. And I don't know about you, but that is not the kind of image that I want affiliated with my business. It's at best kind of an entertaining guess, and at worst, maybe just outright fraud. And you'll, come on, it's too much. It's just prediction. Prediction's everywhere, right? It's used in self-driving cars, it's used in AI, all this kind of stuff. And that is true. That is true. Self-driving cars is a great example, actually, because a car can only do the following. It can speed up, it can slow down, it can turn left, and it can turn right. And so AI prediction works awesome when your range of, especially outputs, but even inputs, is low. So something like chess, for example, board games have always been a great example of prediction AI. 64 by 64 squares, half a dozen pieces, limited range of options. They seem complicated, but they're a lot less complicated than you might think. So I want you to keep this in mind, because ultimately what we're going to compare this to is people. That's what we're here to talk about. That's what personalization is for. It's for people. And our people, as simple as that. So let's talk about all the good stuff, though, that's happened over the last 20, 25 years. So we can talk about why it's starting to get outdated. Some of us are old enough to remember pre-Google days, right? Where we had to advertise to people based on the magazines they read or the television shows they watched and hope they were paying attention, right? Pretty awful in comparison to, hey, we can know when someone is looking for something and we can know what they're looking for in the moment. That's pretty amazing, right? Intent-based search. And for those times when people were not looking for things, Facebook came along and said, hey, we can tell you what people like, what they watch, what they view, what they share. And that will tell you a little bit about people when they're not necessarily in the mood for looking for something or shopping. And that's been awesome for advertising, although debatably there's some things I think we're all aware of in terms of how people are starting to look at that, which we'll get to in a second. On the e-commerce side, we haven't been quite as sophisticated, and there's good reasons for that. When I'm on an e-commerce website, most of the time I'm not logged in, so you don't have my identity. And so what you're able to do is you're able to look at what I search for and what I click on, and you're able to track all of that, what PDP pages I go to, etc. And you're able to then compare that to other shoppers and say, well, these people clicked on those pages and these people searched for those things, so why don't I pop up a banner for the things that those people bought and said, people like you bought, or may we suggest, or we think you'll like. And that's basically e-commerce personalization. Sure, there's a bunch of things like pop-ups for abandoned cart and other things, but that's the bulk of it, is really just recommending products in a banner on a web page. So this sort of gets us to more or less, I mean, in a short talk, I can't go into every single thing, but more or less, this is what it is. Let's learn what people search for. Let's learn what people like on the internet, and let's look where people go on our websites, and let's try and deliver some amount of personalization. That's sort of where we gets us up to today. So what's the problem with that, right? It's probably why many of you join this talk, to hear about those kind of techniques and how could you apply them, right? Well, let's talk about these problems, right? The first one is they don't work that well, right? So who are the leaders in this space? Algolia and Search, go to their website, look at their case studies, right? Lacoste, they have a case study, 50-ish, 55% conversion rate uplift. You might think that's great. I'm here to tell you there's much better options out there. It's not that great. Secondly, our customers tell us, we want a personalized experience. We want to deliver a personalized experience. We don't just want to deliver a personalized website where my website might look different than your website. It might have a different hero banner with a guy on it, and a woman might have a hero banner with a lady on it, and you might see a certain set of products and I might see a certain set of products, but there's no experience there. And our customers tell us they want to deliver an experience to their customers. So the next thing is really talking about how hard they are to build, right? Again, a thing a lot of our customers have told us is, I don't have time to use a self-service tool. I don't have time to train staff. I don't have people that I want to sit behind a complex dashboard constantly doing merchandising and updating my website. And then the last thing, and this is where the ethical part comes in, I think, is there is a growing awareness of surveillance capitalism and the fact that a lot of these techniques rely on, and I'm sorry to say it, spying. Tracking your customers, monitoring what they do, and then using that to drive an experience, which isn't even an experience, to personalize a website that doesn't even feel personalized, that doesn't even drive that big a result. These are the problems that exist. So what are the alternatives, right? What is starting to happen? So let me talk about my company a bit, because we honestly fell into this. We discovered that this was a possibility. I've been working on computers you talk to for about 20 years. I dedicated my whole career to it. I think it's the coolest thing ever. And we learned something along the way really interesting, which is talking computers can do more than just talk. They can listen. Something my wife has been trying to teach me for many years. She's right. The power of listening is where this technology gets really, really interesting. So let me get concrete about it. How does it work? It's deceptively simple and super powerful. I get to a website or I click on an ad and we start asking questions, not answering them. What are you looking for? What do you need? What problem are you trying to solve? Let me be even more specific. I might go to Harry Rosen, men's luxury fashion retailer in Canada. And I might tell them, I'm looking to get some knit sweaters that look a little more professional than the ones I have because I'm on Zoom all day. And it might recommend a bunch of high quality, professional looking knit wear. And then as I'm shopping on the site later or in that session or in another day, I will see badges on the products that say, hey, this is a professional looking knit sweater. And it might even recommend other things that are casual and comfortable, knowing that that's similar to a knit sweater that will make me look better than I look today on this Zoom. Similarly, I haven't had a haircut in 5 months. I might go to another customer, Amika, hair care and style company. It might say, I don't know what to do with this mop anymore. Can you help me? And it might say, hey, you've got fine hair and it's getting a little longer. I can help you deal with that. And the site will be updated and personalized for me, not only now when I get a product recommendation, but in the future when I come back. Super simple. We like to call this customer listening and e-commerce personalization. We like to say, show your customers you're listening. So we've got a whole bunch of real problems. We've got an interesting solution in terms of the experience, but let's talk about how this actually solves it. It is an experience. Your customers can see it and feel it. They know that they're having an experience. Your management team will be able to see that you're delivering an experience to your customers, number one. Number two, in terms of results, we see 100, 200, even 300% conversion rate uplift. We recently did an A/B test with a customer. We'll be releasing a case study on it soon. Hard A/B test. They saw Automat, they saw customer listening, and they didn't see it. Where they saw it, 10% absolute revenue uplift for that customer. That's real ROI. Thirdly, it's all opt-in and transparent. People know what's happening. They know they're sharing information. They know they're providing information about themselves, and they're doing it because they're getting value in the moment. So you don't have to spy on your customers. You don't have to get a mediocre result. We haven't talked about it much, but we can be live in as little as 4 weeks, and we do all the work for you. You don't have to do all the work. You don't have to dedicate someone to a self-service tool. There's a trend that's happening in the world that is larger than just this. We know that when we put people in black and white buckets, and we say, you are this and you are that it reduces our humanity. And nobody likes it, and the whole world is reacting to it. In our industry, what we have is the ability to listen to people, to learn about them, and to serve their needs and connect them to the products and services that help them and that we believe in, and that can help them, and deliver a better experience and deliver a better business result along the way. So we're super excited about that. We're happy to be part of, the e-commerce and personalization part of this broader movement away from tracking and monitoring and spying and delivering a lackluster experience that isn't as good as the experience we can actually deliver by listening to people. So I thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of this virtual conference. And if you want to look us up, I'm Andy at automat.ai, even just to talk about these ideas, or you can visit us at automat.ai. Thank you. Bye.